Well, good morning, everyone joining us in person and online. Online, that's a new thing, and online on what is a busy news day. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge, as always, that we're standing here on Treaty 6 territory, acknowledge the Métis people who share a deep connection to this land. That's particularly poignant today because today, every year at this time, we receive the report from the Child and Youth Advocate. And I got to say that every year it kind of goes by. And it's always bothered me that we've normalized the fact that children, largely Indigenous children, die in the care of this province every year. 69 children were investigated this year. Governments of every stripe have failed these children. And it is important for us to be able to understand that in government, we have to look after the most vulnerable, and particularly if people are in our care, we need to be able to care for them. Now, today, we're going to talk about a different aspect of the care system, particularly the healthcare system. Last week, the Auditor General, as we all know, released his report on the shocking Dynalife procurement scandal. Not only did the UCP barrel ahead with this experiment, even when they found out it wouldn't save money, in fact, it would waste more than $125 million in taxpayer money to worsen health outcomes. But the report also revealed something else, something that we already knew. A troubling culture of silencing anyone who wants to uncover the truth or anyone who wants to dissent. The Auditor General's report stated, and I quote, AHS staff reported feeling discouraged from voicing concerns with the department for fear of repercussions which strained relationships between AHS and the Department of Health. This isn't new. We saw the same pattern, we have seen the same pattern in the corrupt care scandal when whistleblowers who tried to raise alarms about private contracts and patient safety were silenced. This is all happening against the backdrop of a crumbling healthcare system where we're seeing ER closures, longer wait times, and almost 1 million Albertans without access to a family doctor. Danielle Smith promised to fix healthcare in 90 days. 1,000 days later, she's dismantling the healthcare system right in front of us. But now we have workers falling through the cracks with less protection against retaliation for speaking out against wrongdoing and misuse of funds. That's why we are proud to introduce Bill 204. Bill 204 addresses that by creating universal protections for all healthcare workers. The sponsor of that bill is the MLA for Edmonton-Manning, Heather Sweet, and I would love to turn it over to Heather to walk you through what the bill does.
Thank you. Thank you, Naheed. The UCP is dismantling Alberta's healthcare system, splitting AHS into 4 separate agencies and creating a new governance structure. That restructuring left severe legal and ethical gaps. Right now, we don't even know who is protected under the existing whistleblower legislation. Bill 204 closes that gap. This bill creates a dedicated whistleblower protection framework for Alberta's healthcare system. It ensures that every worker employed by a publicly funded entity, whether it's Alberta Health Services or one of the UCP's new agencies, or a contracted facility, can report wrongdoing or misuse of public funds without fear of retaliation. By expanding coverage beyond the current Whistleblower Protection Act, the legislation closes critical gaps left by the UCP's healthcare restructuring and guarantees consistent protections across all publicly funded health organizations. This bill is about transparency, accountability, and overall patient safety. And it's about protecting the healthcare workers who protect us every single day. Thank you, and we'll take your questions.
All right, everyone. For those of you who have joined us online, we'll be coming to questions with you first. And so let's go to Catherine Gurkowski with All Alberta. Go ahead, Catherine.
Well, we don't have you in the room quite yet, Catherine.
Oh, are you able to hear
Yeah,
me?
there you are. There you are. We got you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm wondering when the government was creating all these new agencies and whistleblower protections were not included in that legislation, Do you get the sense that this was merely an oversight because they're moving so fast and doing so much, or what do you think this was intentional?
So I think the issue that's happened is that the government is moving so quickly that because of the restructuring, they didn't think about workers' protections. They didn't think about the fact that with all of this chaos and with moving workers from one ministry to another ministry, from a different department to another department, contracting and then privatizing, that workers ultimately are moving within the system and are not protected underneath this act. I think it was just a failure of the government to think about all of the consequences of these pieces of legislation and not really think about the frontline workers.
And I did want to touch on that privatization piece because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the current whistleblower protections are for public agencies. Is there any concern that the private piece cannot be captured by these whistleblower protections, or can you maybe get into details about how your legislation might address that?
Yeah, Bill 204 is an important step towards protecting all workers, but it is focused on workers in the public system. The challenge here is that this government doesn't walk the walk. You know, they claim that they believe in freedom of expression, but not for people who criticize them or people who might embarrass them. And, you know, I'm a little less charitable than Heather. It's certainly true that they are making up as they go along with the healthcare restructuring, and it's certainly possible they just forgot this part. But whether they forgot it or whether they did it on purpose, the point is that they don't think about things like this. They don't think about protections for workers. They don't think about transparency. It's probably one of the most secretive governments we've ever had in Alberta's history. So when you put all of that together, it creates a very dangerous environment, not just for workers, but for all citizens. Because the things that the workers are blowing the whistle on are things that impact people's health, things that waste taxpayers' money, things that make people less likely to come out with a positive outcome. So, you know, it would be hard for me to understand how the government could oppose this private member's bill if they truly believed in openness, transparency, and protection for workers.
Catherine, did you have a follow-up?
Oh, I think that was my follow-up, but I would.
Kirk's being nice this morning.
How generous. I don't think I have one at the
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Seeing no more questions online or in the room, that concludes this morning's news conference. Everybody,
Let me just say, I know it's a big news day, and I know that there'll be a lot that people will want comment on, and Kirk will work hard to make sure that we're available on all the other things over the course of the day. So thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Mind how you go.